My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, a series that I and many others grew up with. I personally didn't watch the show on TV, but on Netflix when I was a teenager. Character designs, while simple, are really iconic and fun. Unfortunately, I can't exactly say that for the canon human designs in Equestria girls. And so, after watching a bunch of other creators' videos on redesigning the Equestria girls' designs, I wanted to give it a shot myself. Hi, my name is Arthur and I draw stuff. Welcome to my channel. If you read the title or saw the thumbnail, you already know that I'm starting this series by redesigning the one and only Twilight Sparkle. While all the Equestria girls need some help, I personally feel like they did Twilight dirty and made her design incredibly bland. Don't worry, I will be working on the rest of the main 6, and possibly a few other characters like Spike as well. While I don't think the design of Twilight or any of the other characters needs to be super over the top or anything, I feel like some of the vibes are just off, especially with some of the outfits that Twilight was shown in. To fix this and give her a little bit more personality back, I wanted to change up her look and give her a unique aesthetic that would help her stand out from the other characters. To start off this process, I made a small mood board with both canon and fan designs for Twilight Sparkle. I noticed that many of the redesigns I saw online tended to lead towards the light academia aesthetic, and I agreed with this, so I wanted to explore that with her outfit design. I also wanted to change her skin tone from purple to a more natural tone. One of my inspiration images portrayed her as black, but I personally had canon her as Asian. I think it has to do with her hairstyle, but honestly I couldn't tell you why. With the inspiration images out of the way, I started by sketching traditionally with some ideas for the redesign. I knew I wanted to keep her classic hair stripes, so I made sure to add those in. I also thought about adding her cutie mark into her eyes like some other designs do, but later decided to just not show it at all in the design, as I decided it would be more of a birthmark somewhere on her body, more than likely her upper arm. And since I gave her long sleeves in the illustration, it just isn't visible. Moving on to the digital illustration, I started by thinking about the pose I wanted to put her in. I decided that I wanted to show her from a lower angle to give her a little bit more of a powerful aura, and holding a book to highlight her book-smart personality. I also gave her the same hairstyle that she has in Equestria Girls, but made her ponytail a little bit longer and added a bit of waviness to add more motion and interest to the silhouette of the pose. For her body type, I made her slightly chubby but still close to average body type, as she does canonically spend a lot of time inside, but still gets a good amount of exercise while out on adventures. I also just think that the rounder shapes give her a friendlier and more approachable vibe. For the outfit, I've referenced the 2 inspiration fan drawings and a light academia outfit I found online. Putting it all together, while far from unique, I feel like it matches her vibe better. I started with her top, giving her a button up with loose flowy sleeves, like the one in my photo reference, to give her more of a whimsical vibe. I also gave her a simple sweater vest with no patterning, unlike some of the other fan drawings that I have seen online. This is partially because I don't really want to deal with drawing an argyle pattern like many of the other designs have, and I also felt like it was overused. While I understand the use echoing her cutie mark, I wanted my design to avoid feeling like every single other redesign out there. I also decided to give her jeans instead of a skirt because I personally don't think that she would wear skirts very often, unlike some of the other characters like Rarity, Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy. Since I imagined her spending most of her time in the library anyway, I feel like jeans were simply the more comfortable option for her. With her book, after trying a few other options to draw it, I ended up just going with the 3D asset from Clip Studio Paint, because I was struggling to get it to look right. With the colors, like I mentioned earlier, I chose to give her tan skin instead of the canon purple. I thought about different ways other artists had canon her race, but kept coming back to Asian. So that's what I went with. I don't know what part of Asia her heritage would be from, though, so if you guys have any ideas, I'd be interested to hear what you think. Other than that, I stuck pretty close to her canon color palette, mainly using variations of purple and keeping her iconic hair stripes. Coloring those in was surprisingly tricky as I wanted to make sure that they stayed relatively even in thickness and followed a consistent path, unlike in the Canon design where the location of each of the colors seems to change for no reason. I also really like the blue used on the shirts and the Equestria girl images that I chose to reference, so I used that for her book to add a little bit more color variation. Finally, I added shading to bring everything together and added a few elements like the Canon pre-alicorn pony design and her cutie mark in the background to fill up the space. I considered trying to draw her as a pony in my own style, but I just decided I don't have enough practice with that, so I decided against it. I also used an image of Twilight's cutie mark made by Black Griffin on DeviantArt to trace over because I just couldn't get it right on my own. I'll have a link in the description to this and the other resources I used, like the fan designs and photos I referenced in the description below, so please go check them out yourself if you're interested. Because I am not an expert in character design, and even if I was, some of my decisions may not be ones that you would have made, and that is okay. I just wanted to have fun with this and show some of my perspectives on the design. Please feel free to share your feedback in the comments and I'll do my best to respond. Thank you to anyone who made it to the end of my first video on this channel. I appreciate it so much. If you liked what you saw or listened to, please consider liking, sharing, or maybe even subscribing for more content like this. Until next time, see ya!